This is your First Alert Weather Breakdown, a deep dive into how weather works with meteorologist Evan Thomason.
Hey, good morning. It's First Alert Weather Breakdown time. I am meteorologist Evan Thomason. Thank you very much for joining me here for the day today. It is the day, 'tis Thanksgiving Eve. One day before feast time around the Arklatex. First of all, thank you very much for joining me. Also, just real quick, we do not have an episode tomorrow on Thanksgiving Day. We will have one back again here for your Friday, for Black Friday. Wishing everybody, again, out for Thanksgiving. Fantastic time out there, but this will be the last little preview of Thanksgiving Day, at least on this podcast setting, so to speak, before, again, we'll be back for one more episode on Friday before leaving for the weekend. Wow, so big cool down. That's the biggest story of things in the weather department that we have going on here with us over the next couple days, and it really starts today. Because highs are now down high temperatures are now down into the upper 50s and lower 60s only, starting today and continuing to roll for the next several days. In fact, you could even say that today is the warmest day out of the next 7. Think about that when you're stepping outside, or if you're outside currently at this very time frame. This is as warm as it's going to get over the next several days. I mean, we are really settling along into the fall season finally, that we've gotten into the late part of November. Remember, the early part of, the weather and the temperature has been so wacky this month. We were talking about mid to upper 80s that we found in our actual high temperatures here earlier on this month. And now we're finally setting along to what the season should be. In fact, early next week, we could be even hanging tight with some below average temperatures for once in the Arklatex, which means it is going to get very chilly here, December through February. Always the 3 coldest months of the year around here, and December is in less than a week. So I'm personally ready for it. As I always say, I'm a man of change. I love change of weather, love different seasons. I love hot weather, I love cold weather, I love rain, I love maybe even snow. That's the tricky thing. For those of you who came here from my post notification on the phone on the KSLA News 12 live stream, you clicked on it, you found the live stream right here. There have been a few tidbits of maybe a little bit of wintry precip showing up on the long-term models. We'll see exactly what that looks like in just a little bit. Now, first of all, I must hit a disclaimer on this note. Please don't think that it's going to snow here anytime soon, okay? The reason I want to bring this up as part of the exclusive content here for the day today is I've already seen some people on social media trying to hype up some things, all right? The S word is very tricky around here, and I held this together just for this podcast. I haven't even talked about the S word at all on air, on our TV shows at all, mainly because, again, it's just a fragile word. People get overhyped about it, get a little too freaky about it, so to speak. But again, as stated earlier, I don't think that's going to happen a week from today, but there have been signs of snow dipping as far south as maybe Oklahoma, Arkansas, maybe? We'll see, and we'll keep you first alert. In addition to that, the other thing in the other part of the exclusive content I want to go over here for the day today is a little tale of northern Alaska. What I mean by a tale is talking about how parts in northern Alaska do not see daylight for months. Yeah, not even for a single day. Think about not even getting daylight at all for a single day. Obviously, that might happen, period, with just a cloudy day, so to speak. But no, what I'm talking about here is clear skies, but the sun just never comes out. There's some spots like that because of the Earth's tilt during the seasons of where places in the North Pole and the northern part of Alaska do not see any sunlight at all for several months. That's impressive. Imagine walking out at like noon, lunchtime. Oh, it's lunchtime, and it's still pitch black outside. Wild. We'll go over to that. We'll look over that, and we'll look over the little chance of snow technically in spots of Oklahoma and Arkansas next week. Both of those we'll look at coming up later. But let's get into the forecast first and foremost. I do want to say good morning to Christian on our stream, who has sent the only comment in our chat on our YouTube stream. Thank you very much for joining us, as always, Christian. Hey, as I said, always appreciate you for not only coming on, but also commenting on our live stream. Feel free to leave a comment on YouTube or question. If you have any questions about the forecast here for you. All right, we got enough to go over here for the we have enough to go over it in our own forecast before we get to any of the kind of juicy exclusive content that we got here coming on up. We also got to get through this thoroughly as well. Just real quick, I want to go ahead and put a little quick push of a post here to, or I guess a push to a tease. We have Arclitex Artistry coming on here at 11 a.m., so we got to be out here by then. Anyways, live look into Window World Skycam and Texarkana. We have sunshine. It's back with us. Great to see you. It was cloudy yesterday. We had our first alert weather day on Monday, so we haven't seen this out in the past 3 to 4 days. So it's good to have it back out, and it's out aplenty now. It was out yesterday afternoon, but we still have the clouds around, providing us with lots of shade. And honestly, despite this and despite having the great drive out there, it's chilly. It's deceiving. This looks like almost a start to I want to call it a summer day, but a start to a warm day, for example. We've had that, I mean, obviously the past several months, but today, extremely cool around the region here for you with that sunshine. Guess what? That trend, first and foremost, continues into Thanksgiving. We have no worries in the forecast about Thanksgiving whatsoever, unless you are absolutely not a friend or not a fan of cooler weather. Well, unfortunately, again, you are heading into the 3 coldest months of the year, so get ready for it. Anyways, for the weekend, we have even colder air. We have a big change between what's happening over the next couple days to what's happening over the weekend and into early next week. Even colder air and rain. Could be sloppy. Cold rain. Honestly, that's the worst combo. If I had to choose one of the worst combos of weather there is, even though I'm a fan of all kinds of weather, temperatures in the 40s and rain, not a fan of at all, I must say. And guess what? That's a part of our 7-day forecast, believe it or not. We'll get to that later. Let's go over temperatures first. Still in the 50s. Nobody has reached up to 60 degrees yet at all for today, and it is just past 10:30. I mean, we're heading into lunchtime with still chilly temperatures. I wouldn't call them cold by any means. We're still in the upper 40s in for the Queen. 48 degrees there. 54 in Texarkana. 59 in Shreveport. 59 also in Natchitoches. 52 in Mount Pleasant. Here are your high temperatures for today, which pretty much only warm up by... Oh, man. Pretty much only warm up by another 5 degrees or so from what they're at now. 60 in Texarkana, 58 in Foreman, 58 in New Boston. Across East Texas, 60 in Marshall, 62 in Center, 63, some of the warmest spots around Nacogdoches, over to Natchitoches with a high of 63 as well. 61 today, only for Shreveport this afternoon. That's going to be impressive here later on today. Now, we're limiting these temperatures because we finally got our cold air supply into the Arclitex, and we got essentially winds coming out of the north to limit how much the sunlight of the day today actually warms us up. And this is going to be an issue not just for the afternoons. This is also going to be an issue for your mornings, too. We continue to see our mornings getting even colder tomorrow morning. Just so you know, this morning you woke up to upper 40s, lower 50s. That's as warm as the mornings are going to be still over the next 5 to 6 days. You're waking up to 30s tomorrow here for the start of Thanksgiving morning. Same thing for Friday and Monday. A little break over the weekend if you want to call it that at all, but even then, I mean, you're waking up to temperatures in the 40s. Still cold and chilly, and for some of you, especially, again, not a fan of colder temperatures, uncomfortable, so to speak. So grab out the coats. Make it a habit every single day. And we'll say early next week is, going to get pretty darn chilly because, again, we have our cool air supply that has just come into the region now. And that's going to be hanging around with us again for tomorrow and as well for Friday. But we want to keep you first alert about a really big Arctic cold air supply coming in to knock the temperatures down even more into Sunday and early next week. It is going to be really impressive. So hang on tight. Hope you can throughout the region here for you because guess what? These are the numbers that you could be hanging with here for the afternoon hours of your Monday. 40s and low to mid 40s at that. A projected high of 41 on Monday in Texarkana. Wow. Yeah, it's going to be very cold throughout the day there for your Monday then. All right, so that's the temperatures. Again, essentially cool for the next couple days and then turning cold for the first time since last winter, essentially by Sunday. And part of the help with that is this cold front that's going to be coming on by here, which comes over the weekend, mostly on Saturday, it looks like. This will be bringing us our next round of scatter storms. Again, this comes on Saturday, 3 days away. So first and foremost, next 3 days, looking lovely. No issues. I don't see any problems with getting any chances of storms here between today, Thanksgiving, and Black Friday. Out shopping should be good here for Friday. Then the storms come on Saturday. Brings a chance of scattered storms. Thankfully, look at the second bullet point. Severe weather threat is low with the system. If I had to pick anything to worry about at all, it would be flash flooding, because I think we're going to get a good substantial amount of rainfall from that day. But I don't think this is bringing us a severe weather chance for tornadic activity, for hail, for strong winds, none of that, which is great news. I think this is going to put more of a intriguing measure on the temperature department, because we're bringing even cold temperatures swinging in behind this. Some of the coldest temperatures, again, that we've seen in several months. Wouldn't you agree? 40s for highs. High temperatures. Wild. Anyways, let's take a look at our long-range future track to see this round of storms coming on in. As stated, today and tomorrow and Friday, all looking good. The only change between the 3 days is that I think Friday it's going to be cloudy. We're got the cloud cover back in. Again, sunshine is still out aplenty through Thursday. We're going to build up the cloud cover, build up the moisture a little bit throughout the day on Friday. Friday, even into Friday night, should be fine if you're headed out to those high school football playoff games. Into the third round. I believe they're into the quarterfinal round this week. Those should be fine here for this coming weekend. Those should be great, grand. Again, a little cloudy, but the rain should hold off until Saturday morning when it comes on through the Arklatex. And even then, looks like that's almost like round one coming through Saturday morning with a separate round of storms coming through Saturday afternoon and Saturday night. So it could be theoretically almost a day full of rain for the first half of the weekend before things look a lot better for Sunday. Maybe a little bit of cloud cover left behind, but it should be dry on that day. Then we have a second round of storms coming on by, and this also what helps to cool us off even more a little bit with the ample cloud cover left here for Sunday. Again, turning to another round of storms here for Monday, and some of that could even linger on into your Tuesday as well before the second half of next work week actually looks a little bit more on the dry side of things. So let's put it together in our lifestyle forecast, and we'll go over the 7-day in just a moment. So Saturday, that's, again, our next round of scatter storms coming through the region. Highs are in the lower 60s today all the way through Saturday. Then you get into Sunday, and first of all, it's a better day to get out and around if you had to choose a day of the weekend to get out and around. But look at the temperature. That is a high temperature of 51. It's going to be sweater weather during the day, so watch out for that. But first and foremost, Thanksgiving is tomorrow. We got to give thanks to everything. Since this is our last little weather podcast, since again we don't have this again tomorrow airing, just want to say thanks for you guys. I'm always thankful for you guys, really, truly. I honestly am thankful for this job, thankful for family, thankful for friends, and thankful for our weather forecast, especially because it's looking good on that day. Our turkey approves. You can hold up. Let me let you see the full turkey. There. He's nodding his head. He's a big fan of it. Yeah. Anyways, temperatures lower 60s. You're just waking up to temperatures in the mid to upper 30s there to start off the day. Cold, chilly to start off your Thursday. But most importantly, again, it is sunny. No rain chance there for Thanksgiving. We're just going to be dealing with the whole mess, like the fixings, like all the slop left on the plate. We're dealing with that afterward. Deal with that after Thanksgiving. Next 3 days, again, nice and dry. We at least hang with the sunshine here for the rest of the day today, here for Wednesday, and throughout the day here for Thursday for Thanksgiving. Saturday should be looking good. Should be looking good what am I saying? Saturday, that's when storms come back into the Arklatex. If you're a fan of rain, then I guess it's good to go with that. But anyways, the point is we got 2 rounds of scattered storms coming on Saturday, another one coming on Monday. Again, Monday's when those highs get down to the mid to upper 40s. Overall, Sunday to Tuesday, just highs in the upper 40s, lower 50s. It is going to be chilly on all 3 of those days. And if I remove my face here for you. Temperatures could get down into those 30s there for the morning hours as well, which kind of beckons the question that I mentioned earlier. Is snow coming back anytime soon? I don't think it's coming back with this system, but there have been a few future treks that have tried to dip the snow level, well, south. We'll track on to where we could see snow with this system that's coming through for Monday and Tuesday. How close does it get, legitimately, how close does it get to the Arklatex? And we'll talk about that little Alaska story and tell you how many days they're stuck with the darkness during the winter. All that more in your exclusive content. That's on after this. Welcome on back to the First Alert Weather Breakdown. Hello again. I'm meteorologist Evan Thomas, and thank you very much for joining me here for the day today. We have two different things of exclusive contents, but both of them are kind of short in talking about them. One is about the Tale of Alaska. Again, just letting you, just kind of being amazed at how the Earth works sometimes when you take into retrospect of where people are on the Earth and just how much the daylight changes and how the season changes their amount of daylights that they get. And for some areas, they're stuck in complete darkness for months. Months. Kind of amazing. We'll see exactly how long that timeline is in just a second. I want to get to that. Actually, I'm going to get into that now because I feel like the more intriguing thing is the second part, which is talking about snow on long-range models close to the Arklatex. We'll get into that juicy detail in just a moment. But just to go a little bit more into detail, about some certain towns around northern Alaska. There are some, believe it or not, contrary to what you might think. A town called Barrow. Barrow is essentially the opposite of Key West. Key West is the southernmost point of the United States. Barrow, Alaska is the northernmost point. It essentially is on the northernmost town of the United States. And back on November 18th, just over a week ago, was its last day of daylight until next year. Next year when it finally gets daylight back. And specifically, just so you know, the time frame for that is January 22nd. That is a total of 64 days of consecutive hours of darkness. Wild. Some of the coldest temperatures, obviously, you can imagine, have been found up there. We're talking, negative. Well, first of all, negatives probably year-round around the dark, or not year-round, but especially around the darkness time, temperatures in the negatives. Wild how cold it gets up there. And obviously, again, this happens every year. As you can imagine, northern end of Alaska is also on the Arctic Circle, so to speak. It technically does, even during the 64 time frame of darkness, it gets a little bit of some peaks of sunlight trying to get a little bit on the horizon, but that's only for a few hours. Even then, they still technically are surrounded in complete darkness, especially during thick of December. And part of what heats us up day in, day out, especially during winter, is the sunlight. I mean, if you don't have if you don't have sunlight at all, you just stay drastically cold, and it is brutal in that kind of area. So obviously, when the Earth tilts away from the sun, or when the Earth tilts away from the sun, let's treat my finger over here as the sun, and this rotates. I mean, the top of my hand is still not leaning towards the sun if my location is just at the top of the very pole, so to speak. So that's why they don't get consecutive days of darkness. And again, those temperatures, I think somewhere in the range of, I think it's negative, I think the range, I think they told me was like negative 50, negative 80. It's wild how cold it can get up there. It's brutal enough with temperatures down below freezing period, which could be the case here locally, which is something I'll get to in just a second. Also, the last thing I'll speak about with the Northern Alaska people, as I said, these are just two short exclusive topics. The last thing I'll say about Northern Alaska is they also have days of complete sunshine. During summer, the axis is completely tilted towards the sun, so that wherever it tilts, it's still facing the sun. I did a terrible job of doing that. There we go, kind of. Anyways, it's pointed that if your location is stuck on the pole, it's always facing towards the sun. In the summer, when it's tilted fully towards the sunlight and the sun itself. 84 days. 84 days in Barren, excuse me. Yeah, 84 consecutive days of sunshine. Sorry, excuse me. That is wild. That goes from May 10th all the way to August 2nd. Crazy. Crazy to think about. Man, trying to sleep in that, you definitely need some blackout curtains up there when it comes to that. Crazy. You wouldn't even know what time it was either. Kind of wild. All right, now let's get into the second part of our exclusive content here for the day today, and we about a little less than 5 minutes to go over this, and that is snow. How close does it get on our future track? Well, that is a great question. I want to use Christian's words as well to kind of echo it out in our podcast too. Christian says on our YouTube chat, people are excited about winter weather on Facebook because long-range models have it. And even he was like, probably this is not going to happen. You would be correct. You would be correct. It's because long-range future tracks always, and I cannot stress this enough, they always want to hype up anything when it comes to wintry precip. First of all, wintry precip is one of the hardest things to forecast in all of weather, period. So when models can easily get that wrong, so very easily. They tend to overhype how far south that snow level really and truly goes. But I will say, it is impressive to just see a speckle of snow on this future track. Let's pick this up on Friday. Friday, around the Arctic. Obviously, through the weekend, this is just expected to give us rain. Case in point, rain just shows up. That's the first cold front that comes on by. But it's the second round of scattered storms that we said on our 7-day forecast. That one, the day on Monday, we only have highs in the 40s here, which, first of all, again, is not below freezing. That's why we do not and will not have the chance for snow, at least with this system coming here early next week. But when you watch out for this system coming through on Monday, you will see, especially in areas of Oklahoma City, maybe Monday afternoon through Monday night, you can see a little bit of peaks and crevices up on the north end of the F word of the F of the word future track, essentially, up into Oklahoma City. That's what I was trying to get at. Anyways, point is, it's raining here throughout the day, Monday and Tuesday. But even then, you can see this future track trying to spread a little snow into some spots of Oklahoma and Arkansas as well. I'm going to do this one last time, and then I'll have to end the stream here for you. But I'm going to zoom out the picture so you can see it. See the full thing here in areas around Shreveport. There's that first system that comes through Saturday. Again, all that's rain, especially by our 4 states that we're surrounded by and that we're in. But then once you get into that second system, that one could be a doozy. Looks like we got snow into Kansas with that system. And again, northern Oklahoma, maybe a little bit of northern Texas. And eventually on Tuesday, maybe even northern Arkansas. It would just be trace amounts if it would happen up near there. Again, this is the northern halves of Oklahoma and Arkansas, but it would only happen up by there. And it's very intriguing to see it just even try to dip down this far south. So again, once more, no snow here. None. I got to use my words carefully with using the S word around here, okay? Because I know, as I said, it's a fragile word, meaning people are excited about it. People are also stressed out about it, which is rightfully so. So, anyways. All right, we got to hop off. Thank you very much for joining the First Alert with a Breakdown. I'm off tomorrow, off of this podcast. I'm not off of work tomorrow, sadly. I will be working tomorrow. Keeping you first alert about your Thanksgiving forecast here for Thanksgiving morning. No podcast, essentially, again, tomorrow. None at 10:30. We will be back here on Friday at 10:30. I'll see you there. Be square. Most importantly, stay weather aware. Last thing I want to end off with is please have a happy Thanksgiving, all right? I'm thankful for you guys, always. Have a great Thanksgiving for those of us, not just here at the KSLA News 12 First Alert Weather Breakdown, but all of us here at the weather team and all of us here at period at KSLA News 12. Have a good one.